Hello, welcome to the Fire Up Connect radio show. This is James Watson with Sales Catapult, which is part of the larger sales acceleration network of fractional VPs of sales. I'm also an active and proud member of the Fire Up Connect Business Networking Group. And today we'll be discussing some best practices for small business owners. I've got several great guests joining me today. I've got first is going to be Al Batinga and Deanna Mendeville of Digitized Learning. Al and Deanna develop and deliver courses, programs, and coaching programs. And Deanna is operations and marketing individual. Then we're going to have Nidhi Dandrial of LTS Accelerator, and she's heading up the LTS Accelerator program and LTS startup business in the USA. And then finally, we'll have Bill Kirschbaum of Good News, spelled GNUS, who's a marketing consultant to business companies that helps them break the shot in the dark tactics and turns on the light so you can see the path towards business growth. So Al and Deanna, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
All right, thank you. We're glad to be here.
So again, Al and Deanna run a digitized learning service, an organization that specializes in high performance individuals and business teams. And I'll let you decide who's going to answer this, but what would you two define is a high performance team?
All right. So a high performance team is a group of two or more that meet and exceed their goals and objectives. And the last word is probably the most important word, consistently. So when you consistently meet and exceed goals and objectives, you can be in that high performance team segment.
Now, are these, are you targeting high performance teams that you're going to work with, or are you going in and working with teams to become high performance teams, or both?
So generally speaking, if you look at the landscape in the work environment, most teams, the greatest majority, probably at least 80%, are not high performance teams. And so that's pretty much our market, right? They don't perform at their potential. They don't play at the highest levels. And so that's where our expertise comes in. So we will go to let's call it, for lack of a better way to put it, just a normal team that does a good job. We want them to do a great job. We want them to fulfill everything they can. And so that's our role in there. And so we build and develop high performance teams to meet and exceed goals and objectives consistently.
Okay. So who would you say is your ideal client?
So our ideal client is either individuals that are looking to level up their skills, or teams specifically. So someone that manages a team that they're just not performing at the highest level. That is who we're looking for.
So I'll add one thing to what Deanna just mentioned. So when she said that individual wants to level up, so our ideal individual is a high performance individual that can play on almost any high performance team. So if you have these core skills, you can jump into a high performance team. And that's the goal when we have an individual that we work with.
Okay. So what would you say are the major challenges of a team?
The major challenges of the team is inefficiencies, lack of communication, not working together, not being proactive with the team, lack of leadership and modeling the way. So those are things that are challenging teams today.
Okay, and how would you address those challenges?
So what probably the biggest core of this, we do a very full and complete assessment. And so we have assessment tools and a generic type assessments where we have conversations. We talk 360, if most of you know that term, where we might talk to clients, we might talk to managers, front desk, and we just get a full picture of how this team performs. And then we have actually a little bit more complex type tools where we're assessing personalities and the like. So it depends on the kind of teams that we're talking about, but we want to ensure that we know exactly where they're at today. And then we talk with their management team, their leadership team on where they want to go in, let's say, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and the like. And we work on that. So the number one is to really get a full assessment, to really understand it. And it's underneath the scenes at times. It's not for me and you to have a conversation, we may get to a certain place, but we won't get deep until I talk to people around you, people who work with you. Maybe it's your clients, maybe it's your constituents, maybe it's your suppliers. So we get a full assessment of exactly where you're at to move forward and to work on the things that we need to work on from here on.
Okay. Well, when you're doing these assessments and this ongoing benchmarking, it seems, what are you finding are the traits of a high performance team?
So probably the number one trait, and I've found it through many, many years of working, is this high level of communication. So if you go to an organization in general, for me at least, I found I've been in over 100 organizations working on these kinds of issues as well as others. And it's always communication, unfortunately. And it's an interesting dynamic because everybody knows it. We have complaints about it all the time, and yet we don't address it. So the very core of a high performance team is very strong communicator. Deanna and I, Jovin's in the Philippines. She works with us. So the three of us, we were on the communication this morning for 2 hours. And we're talking through challenges, issues, and all three of us have an equal voice. And so we have that kind of high level communication where everyone matters, everyone counts, everyone communicates. And that's the core to a high performance team. And then it goes out from there.
Okay. So how would you say, based on your experience, how does one become a high performance individual?
So we have 6 core skills. And the very first skill is emotional intelligence. And the very first part of the very first skill is self-awareness. Unfortunately, most people are not self-aware, and that's not a slam on anybody because everybody's so busy doing what they need to do. And that's exactly how teams work, by the way. It's not about the manager or the supervisor being a poor manager, They just have so many things to do in a day that they never get to some of the foundational concepts that Deanna, myself, and Jovin can look and spot at. So to become a high-performance team, you really have to understand your self-awareness. That's probably number one concept. Where am I strong? Where am I weak? What am I best at? What do I do best work? If you've ever read Good to Great, one of the fundamentals is get the right people on the bus, right? And so you get the right people on a team. And then secondarily, you get the right people on the bus in the right seat. Because you have people doing accounting who should be doing something else. You got people in sales, as you well know, James, right? Doing sales, and they need to be doing marketing, or they need to do a different type of sale.
Well, that's all very interesting and important stuff, Al and Deanna. What is the best way for people to get a hold of you?
So the best way would be to go to our website. It would be digitizelearning.com. And they could go ahead and schedule with us there. We do have some information on there. If somebody is struggling with their team inefficiencies, not meeting or exceeding their goals, they can go ahead and book a call with us, and we can go ahead and see if that's something that we can work with.
Great. All right. Well, thank you again, Al and Deanna. We are going to go to station break now, so please don't go away. And when we come back, we will be speaking with Nidhi Dandrial of LTS Accelerator.